Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
Good day, Sneaker History listeners. I'm Robbie, chilling with my guy Mike here. How you doing, Mike?
I'm fantastic, man. I can't complain whatsoever. How you doing, man?
I love to hear that. I'm good. I'm a little more level than you. Show the people what you're drinking. It's a funny story. I'm not a dad, so I find it really funny. Let's see it.
So anybody who follows me on any kind of social media knows that my wife and I just welcomed our third child, and so we have a circus in our house right now. So when my quiet time happens, which just happens to be podcasting, my body is a mixture of Dos Equis and a Red Bull slushie. So my body is thoroughly confused right now.
The inspiration of Mike's drinking is global warming. You never know what's going to happen. That's part of the Aesop line I tried to hit you with. His inspiration for his outfits is global warming. Might have a pair of shorts with some rain boots on and an umbrella. Never know. You never know what you're going to get with the Sneaker History Podcast. So we're going to have a fun little episode here, a short little tidbit for you people. So excited for you to be here. We're actually going to start off with a nice, simple sneaker history staple of Rockin and Coppin. Do you want me to start? Do you want to start? What's going on?
No, you go for it, man. I go after you.
I'll start it off. So I feel like this is a well-known shoe within the Sneaker History Discord. I just got some drinks with a friend, and I wore the Midas Gold, a.k.a. the USC Nike Dunk. I absolutely adore this colorway. It's funny, as a fan of Los Angeles sports, the Lakers are always number one. But in all honesty, my favorite colorway of any Los Angeles sport is the USC Trojans. I really do love the gold and red. I think it looks so powerful, super clean. Always been a fan. A little bit easier to wear than purple and gold. But love it. Can never get enough of those dunks. And then for the Coppin, I actually got lucky and got a pre-order invite for early Cop, a shoe I spent all afternoon trying to break in, because I'm like, if I'm going to cop these, might as well prepare them for actual battle and to be on my feet. So we actually have the Gucci Gazelle, Uncle Guccio. So the GG stands for Guccio Gucci. That's the gentleman who founded the brand. These motherfuckers are crazy. So I asked my Gucci salesman, so I bought enough from them to where I have a guy I can just text. That's a true story. I have a guy I just text. And I texted him today. I wanted to get a second pair for a Discord member, Julie. She's like, yo, I need to get a pair of those Gucci's, and they're all sold out online. So I texted my guy, and then we got Julie a pair, actually. Super lucky. And I asked, are these Adidas made by Gucci, or are these Gucci shoes made by Adidas? Because, structurally, there's a difference there. And these are definitely Gucci shoes made by Adidas. What's wild is, so you have this this board here, right? The Strobel board with the trifoil and the double G on it. But you can't tell really, listeners and viewers, from this angle, but you can tell these are individually stitched. Like, this Strobel is stitched on here. The craftsmanship of this shoe, I have two other pairs of GR Gazelles made by Adidas, and they are not made the same at all. Which, I mean, for $850, you'd fucking hope they're not built like $80 fucking Gazelles. I would really hope they're not. And they're not. The outsole's different too. You have the double G and the trifoil on the bottom. But just, I mean, with certain light, the print pops more, but in certain light, it doesn't. As you can see here, right? It gets brighter and then kind of disappears on some angles. So I was like, they're kind of busy, but not too busy. Just the right amount. So I can't recommend these for everybody, but this is my cop of like, so I sold my Mocha, to be honest, like, hey Robbie, why are you so fucking stupid spending $850 on a pair of Gucci Gazelles? I actually sold my worn pair of Eric Costin SB Air Jordan Lows, and my Mocha Air Jordan 1s to pay for those. What's funny is those two shoes, I made more money off of those two shoes than the cost of that. So ultimately, I'm still up a little bit, but I'm not that crazy. I didn't just buy this shit like, oh, I'm gonna go fucking buy the shoe. I sold 2 pairs to make it make sense for my lifestyle. I'm not balling like that. But I mean, let's be real. I have mad pairs of Jordan 1s. Like I don't need a high top and a low top pair of Jordan 1s. I own 0 Gucci Adidas. So here we are.
There. I mean, it's one of those once in a lifetime possibly shoes. So you'd be able to hold it and tell a story later. Like, man, look at this Gucci. Look at this.
But what's wild, I've had mad friends say like, oh, these are just going to go on sale, like the Prada Adidas. Like, I don't think these and the Prada Adidas are even the same in the same ballpark. Like those superstar Pradas are very boring. Like I don't know. To me, it's not it. I think those are going to do way better than the Prada stuff or the Stella McCartney stuff typically does for Adidas.
Yeah. If they ever do a Gucci like EQT something, like I'd be all about that. I'm just not a big fan of the Gazelle so much. But if they did something one of those like EQT line through, I mean, I'll be right there with you. On a couple things to cop a pair.
I kind of do have to end on this note just from you saying like what you can and can't rock. Like the tongue here sits extremely low. I'm popping it up, and it is sharper than a fucking jail fucking prison shank. You can make prison gravy from The Sopranos. A single razor blade. You've seen The Sopranos? They're making prison gravy. You know what I'm talking about? Chopping garlic. This tongue could chop garlic. This shit's hard as fuck. Like, so it was really hard is like the old school, they really stuck true to the OG like design of the Gazelle. So these sit super low. If you wear a high, like even a little bit of a showing sock, it looks goofy as fuck. So you kind of have to wear a no-show. And if you wear a no-show, you gonna get cut up. Gonna get cut by this tongue. So I think these might sit until like fall time where I can wear a pair of pants and like a high pair of socks. Because I just wore those around the house, like stretching. I did like athletic stretches in them to like get them a little broken in. I'm weird. I'm not gonna lie. I did a whole stretching regimen in those Gucci Adidas because it's like, you know, get the toe box broken in, and I could feel it cutting into my front of my foot over and over. So that's the only issue. Like that tongue hurts. We've been there though, right? I'm sure you've had a pair of shoes where like, man, this tongue is not comfortable.
I can't remember what shoe, like, and that was it's something kind of recent. I'm looking at my shelf and I cannot, for the life of me, it was.
I think the KD6, the KD5, they're both awkward fucking tongues.
Yeah, it was something else though. I want to say it was like it's actually the Superstar 80. So the Superstar 80 Adidas had the bait pair. Love the shoe, but again, it's true to like the 80s where it's not really a padded tongue. Mm-hmm. So it kind of just rams into your the top of your ankle. I'm like, I guess like I'm just like you. I want to wear them with low socks, but they look goofy if it's not no shows. So I'm like, well, I'll just wear them in the winter or fall with pants, so I can just kind of eliminate the problem.
It's so weird how we're like intricately thinking about this sock height, but it really does make a huge difference. If you wear the wrong pair of socks with the wrong shoe, you look goofy.
It's like, I don't want to look goofy. I don't want to look like I'm about to go cut the grass and then, you know, flip some hamburger patties in my backyard. I want to look like I know what I'm doing sometimes.
I think of it like looking unprepared. Like, okay, this fool did not plan out. Poor choices by this fool. Poor choices. So what are some of your good choices? What have you been rocking? What you copping? What's up?
Another Adidas, but this one is a little bit more new in a sense of a model. This is the new Osnova, which is a branch of the Oswego family. This is such an alien-looking shoe. I love it. I think it's still available in full-size runs at Adidas right now because, of course, if it ain't Yeezy, it's not right when it comes to people buying Adidas right now. So you guys should check it out. It has a new cushioning called Addy Plus. I'm talking about squishy. Like, I have this, and I have also my ZX22 Boost. This is softer than the Boost, and like, even though it is a bit thick, instant comfort when you put your foot in it. I I love it, man. It's just something I hope they do more colors of it because this one's cool, but I think a black one would be pretty legit as well. So one of my favorites right now just didn't even go back in the box. It just sits next to the shoe shelf. I can grab it and go. And not really going many places right now, but at grocery store visit, I like to throw on something nice. But when it comes to Coppin right now, there's a couple things.
Well, hold on. Before you move on, so those side windows on the midsole of those Adidas you have there, is that soft, like the silver area? Is that soft? Is it hard on the midsole on the side?
On the midsole, my bad. So right here it is decently soft. It's not like rock hard. There's a little give to it, but this is the cushioning coming out of it. So it even has like the added plus here, but this is the cushioning. All the little windows here are like the cushioning foam that they use, but this
is it jelly?
I don't know what it is. It's not. It feels rough. Remember when we were kids? They had what's it called? Squan. Like it's like that mold. It feels like kinetic sand almost. The roughness or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like them a lot, man. It's like I say, instant comfort. You put your foot in it. Even I think I can't pull it out. It's attached really good, but the insole is more than just like a normal Ortholite. It actually has some sponginess to it. So this bad boy is very comfortable, and I think it looks really good too. I mean, for those who like the chunkier kind of retro look shoe, this one has a little bit of futuristic and retro to it. I mean, I think it's very nice for what you're getting here.
For those of you who like it thicker than a Snicker. I tell my cat that every time because, I mean, she's a girl, but she doesn't speak English or human. So I'm like, girl, you thicker than 2 Snickers. And she just kind of meows and life's good. Speaking of being thicker than 2 Snickers, there's a new Reebok release coming out with Mountain Research. It's a Club C mid. It's a nod to the 80s tennis dress code. Very, very cool looking shoe. I'm all the way in with it. It's available June 17th for $140. But it got me thinking, like, thicker shoes, thicker than a Snicker. Maybe some versions of this shoe isn't thicker. And what I'm getting to is that we have this Mountain Research Club C2 mid. So I'm thinking, how many Club C's do we see in mid-top form? Just full stop. Not very many. And then, like, how many second versions of a shoe have there been that people don't even know exists? So I did not personally know the Club C2 exists. I thought it was just the Club C, and we had the Club C. But there's a Club C2 mid. Great shoe. Mountain Research doing a great collab the first time with Reebok. Again, available June 17th. Great look. But, like, what other shoes have released in mid-top form that maybe you don't initially think of as, like, a mid-top version shoe? I know you have a pair in your hands or close to you, Mike. What's that shoe? Because it got me good. I'm like, oh, yeah, that shoe did come
Ultra
in mid-top
Boost.
form.
And this has done a couple different iterations of mid. Some worked. Some didn't work. I think this one is probably one that works. This one is part of the RLEA lab that they have at Adidas now. Something they just don't really advertise much, but it is more of a higher end looking Ultra Boost that has a mid cut with a leather collar and like kind of a very Visvim like stitching. If you guys are familiar with that shoe brand, but yeah, this is definitely one that people would suspect. I mean, Ultra Boost has done it a couple times. It's very, I don't want to say you have to have a refined palate, but you have to have a taste for it because if you don't like it, you won't like it. You know what I mean? But another one that I know of, Prestos. Remember Presto Utilities? And then also you had kind of played off the Presto acronym. That was a mid-top Presto that many people probably either forgotten about or just didn't know existed.
Get out of my brain. So we did not discuss that before this, but I was like, all right, there's like the Presto mid acronym stuff. There's the Presto Flyknit mid, which didn't have anything to do with acronym, but just a Flyknit version of a mid top. And in the same vein, right? So Air Force Ones have been so popular for the past couple of years. And last month we had 2 mid-top Air Force One, white gold gum bottom, and then the red, white, and blue. I think it's a 2001 or 2000 retro. Both jewel swoosh mid-top Air Force Ones. And I'm like, how many people between you and I, Mike, or listeners, also leave a comment if you prefer one or the other. Do you fuck with mid-top Air Force Ones? I don't, personally.
Dude. I feel like you got to be like 6'5", 280 to even think about wearing anything higher than a low-top Air Force One.
It's weird. And then you have shoes like the Air Jordan line. What comes to mind first are low tops that were first mids that maybe don't always need to be retroed as low tops. And what I mean to that is the Air Jordan 5. To that point, we just had that gorgeous Air Jordan 5 low retro. Was that a year of something? It was the clot. It was a clot release.
Seeing why, but I know they just had that release. It was really nice, like the black, red, and like glow green. It looked very nice.
The clots, I think, are something a little special. But outside of those, there aren't too many Air Jordan 5s where I'm like, give me that Jordan 5. I really need those. That's a thing I've said very little of. It does now. And actually what's funny is for so long, the Dornbecker Air Jordans were a really coveted shoe. And I feel like this year it's been such an understated release. There's actually an Air Jordan 5 low Dornbecker. I don't know if you've seen that, but multicolored panels, very nice. They did a fire red Air Jordan 5 low. I don't know if you remember that one from a couple of years ago. Air Jordan 7 lows, right? There was a yellow pair of Jordan 7 lows. The 6 chromes coming in low top forms out of kind of nowhere. There was the Bordeaux 7 low, the blue 7 low, the yellow 7 low. Why?
Like, I don't know who thought that was cool. Like, the 7 of the shoe should not be retro. I mean, the 6 is already an iffy shoe to be retroed, and now with the 6, they've even changed the construction of the back portion where they don't have like the little ankle pillows anymore. They don't have like it looks really weird now compared to what it used to. So 6s and 7s, I think they should probably take out of anything low, keep them all mids or 3/4, whatever they call them.
Actually, hear me out here. Thinking of just weird shoes, I initially had a model in the back of my mind and I couldn't think of the name, and it just came to me. This is a David Robinson classic, the Air Max 2 Strong. You know what I'm talking about? The big Air Force teeth on the side of the shoe, force on the tongue, big old bruiser, back ankle kind of strap kind of setup, really weird. That shoe came in a low top version, Air 2 Strong low. They got rid of all those crazy back strap, kept the same feel of the shoe, but just miniaturized it. And I think that's when, like, especially in a modern climate, you want a variant of a shoe you don't see all the time, like a Club C mid. I think the 2 Strong low is like one of those shoes. Like, the 2 Strong low exists? Huh?
What's the outdoor shoe? My brain's just blanked on me. We just got a retro not too long ago. It has the straps like the Jordan 8, the cross straps. What's the name of that shoe? I just can't think of the name of it. So, Air Raid. Tinker's doing a tennis version, which I am super excited for. That is a low version of the Air Raid, but it takes some tooling from an actual tennis sneaker. And you're going to have a low-top Air Raid, which is tennis sneakers. If people don't realize it, tennis shoes are built just like basketball shoes because they do the same movements. So this is actually an outdoor basketball shoe, just like the Air Raid was. But again, kind of streamlined for the look of tennis. So we're getting a low-top version of that when we talk about big monstrosities of shoes.
There goes Mike again, bringing up tennis. I'm just kidding. That's a really good insight. Here's one. I brought up the Air Force One mid. One we don't think of too often, but does show up from time to time. the Air Force 2, which also comes in high and low top. The high tops, I think, are more, we're the same age, about like 2003, 2005. There's a lot of like Air Force 2s and like basic ass color blocking, like white, baby blue, white and yellow, white and red, etc. But then there's like the Air Force 2 lows, like the Supreme joints or the Espo, right? The all clear Air Force 2 Espos. That's an iconic fucking sneakerhead shoe that probably hasn't been seen in a dog's age. There's an EA pair of Air Force 2 lows. That's another iconic old school sneakerhead shoe. There's the Air Force 2 mid Dawn C with the straps and that nice old school Chicago baby blue and red colorway. There's just so many Air Force 2s in both high and obviously the Supreme Air Force stuff, Air Force 2 stuff. But there's just so many shoes that are high and low top that we don't always think about or get forgotten about. So listeners, tell us, what old school shoe lives rent free in your brain that you think about that may have a high or low top version. But Mike, give me one. All right, let's do this. Give me one family. Give me one family, high and or mid and low, high and low, mid and high, whatever situation you want that you'd rock with. What's one sneaker line that speaks to you? Any brand?
You know what? I'm not going to give the easy answer because I know what everyone would think and say, but one for me.
Well,
real
what is
answer
it?
is not this one.
What's
but
the easy answer?
Of course, the Jordan 1, you can go either way.
That is the easy one. I thought of that one first, too. Okay. We're on the same page.
The Reebok question. High and low or mid and low, I can do that one all day.
High and low Reebok question. That is a very, very good call. I'm actually going to keep it Reebok too. The Hurricane, formerly known as the Kamikaze, the Hurricane and low top version, I would arguably say looks better than the high top version. I will definitively say it is more comfortable and wearable than the high top version, but the high top worn by Sean Kemp is just so iconic, but the low top works just as well. That's one of the few shoes I think you can just cut the top off and the bottom still just translate. The Hurricane is definitely one of those shoes for me. High, low. I mean, to validate your point, I also thought of the Jordan 1 instantly. I was like, oh yeah, I just sold a high and a low top to buy these fucking Gucci Adidas. I could definitely think of a high and a low top Jordan 1. Good call. Very good call. But listeners, what's your favorite pair of high or low top shoes? If you could go with one line, what would it be that comes in both heights? Let us know in a comment section on either your favorite listening app or YouTube. Like and subscribe. If you're listening to this on YouTube, watching this on YouTube, we appreciate you being here. Mike, why don't you go ahead and plug your YouTube channel and where they can find you on socials?
Yeah. You can find me, of course, here on Sneaker History. Find me on YouTube at Mike Guillory and on Instagram, Twitter, and I guess TikTok. I don't really use it, but it's there. At MadWatcher789. Yeah, no dancing going on.
Mike be TikTok, and Mike's going to have 3 kids on TikTok, and it's just going to be a whole series of just life as a sneakerhead, getting your kids ready for life. They're not in school yet, but life. Getting them ready for 7 a.m. Like, what's that next hour look like? You can find me, RAHBEE702, on social media platforms, but more importantly, make sure you're following at Sneaker History on everything. We really appreciate everybody tuning in today. I'm Robbie. He's Mike. We love you. Thanks and have a good day. Peace.
See you, everybody.